Hi everyone, hello, how are you doing? I hope everyone is doing good. So welcome to another video on of chapter 5, that is Origin and Evolution in Maharashtra textbook, and chapter 6 in the CBSE textbook. So in the previous video we have covered the introductory part of how different scientists and different thinkers and philosophers had different approaches towards understanding, trying to reveal, understanding a mystery how life originated and evolved on Earth. Then we also discussed about different theories, that is theories of special creation, then theories of uh, you know chemical theory of evolution, cosmoid theory, then theory of biogenesis and abiogenesis. So then we discussed the chemical theory of evolution, which was put forth by Oparin and Haldane in detail. Okay, now in this video we are going to see how Urey and Miller, okay, Stanley Miller, both of these scientists, they actually went on to conduct a experiment, and they were able to prove Oparin's theory of chemical evolution. Okay, so that this we are going to see this in detail, and then we are going to move to the next topic, which is RNA world hypothesis. Okay, so let's begin directly. So now, this theory was put for, this is not a theory, basically, this was experiment conducted by Urey and Miller together, okay, in support of the chemical evolution of life, okay, of life on Earth. So, what was the chemical evolution theory saying? That life originated on Earth uh, because when inorganic and organic molecules came together, nucleic acid came together. So basically non-living materials, all these substances came together and gave rise to the first cell. Remember the 8 steps that we did in the chemical evolution theory? Okay, so more or less uh, Oparin and Haldane, they had given a theoretical understanding, and they had given like a theory upon a theory based proof, or their their support for the chemical evolution of life on Earth. Okay, as such, they did not conducted any experiments, any standardized experiment which proved their theories. So they presumed, and they gave a lot of literature support to that. So now Urey and Miller, in after 30 years approximately, they came together and they provided the first experimental evidence in support of the theory of chemical evolution. So basically, they designed a setup, as you can see in the picture over here. An apparatus is set up over here. Okay, they try to set up an environment or simulate the prebiotic conditions that was put forth by the theory of chemical evolution. So basically, this experimental setup created a similar condition of the primitive Earth. So they took this spark discharge apparatus, as you can see over here, a closed system of glass. Okay, you will see water. You will see okay, electrodes are here. Electrodes are placed over here. Okay, then a flask for boiling water, a side tube connected into the vacuum, a cooling jacket over here. You can see. Okay, then a U-shaped trap somewhere over here. Okay, so what they did was, first they cleaned the apparatus, evacuated everything, and they made it sterile. Then first water was added partially to the flask. Then a mixture of methane, ammonia, and hydrogen were added. Okay, in the ratio of 1:2:2. All these details are present in your notes in your textbook. So just giving you an understanding, brief understanding. Yes. So basically. They did not allow air to come inside into this closed system. So this was done to create a prebiotic atmosphere in the whole flask, in the whole setup. Then afterwards, what they did was, when they introduced these gases, water, they started to boil the water at very low temperature, slowly and gradually. This, when you boil the water, what happens? Slowly and gradually, at low temperature, the water vapor started rising up. Okay, and then when they moved up the apparatus, yeah, they moved up the apparatus. You can see the arrow also over here. Okay. Now, this water vapors were there. They were necessary for creating certain reactions over here, wherein the gases were introduced. Okay, basically this situation, this environment was depicting or resembling the ocean which was present at the earlier primitive Earth. Okay, at the very first stages when life began on Earth. So water vapors along with other gases, they were circulated continuously through the spark. So continuously they were circulated through this discharge spark. The electrodes help in the chemical reaction taking place. Okay, and these gases were churned on with the help of these electrodes which were introduced. Okay, yes, mixture was exposed to continuous electrical discharge for several days. This was done, and these gases were allowed to interact. Okay, after these gases were allowed to interact, they were passed through this condenser, cooling condenser. Okay, and the liquefied mixture was collected, where, as you can see over here, the liquefied mixture was collected at the bottom of the apparatus. And then now this liquid which resulted from from the mixture of the gases, the water vapors coming from here, the gases, then the electric current. Okay, then the water which was mixed. So all of this was allowed to react for certain days, and then after condensation, the water droplets which was formed over here, they were then collected in this tubing in the at the end of the apparatus. Now this liquid was tested. Okay, the trapped product, the liquid which was collected over here, was tested, and through observation it was seen that, okay, uh, amino acids, certain sugars, simple compounds like these were formed. Okay, they saw that certain amino acids, sugars, simple organic compounds were formed. Okay, yes. So in a similar experiment, they observed nitrogen bases, pigments, and fats also were formed. So they actually were successful in proof, giving us significance, giving us some sort of proof to the chemical evolution theory. Okay, they demonstrated that formation of amino acids, sugars, other simple compounds, organic compounds, by recreating this setup, by putting up this apparatus, that earlier the Earth's atmosphere was, uh, composed by this, and then finally life came on Earth. So what do we draw conclusion from this? Not we, what did Urey and Miller concluded at the end by conducting this experiment? Okay, they provided a proof, an important proof that essential building blocks of living organisms, of first living organism that we can see now on the, some traces are still there, like your nucleic acids and sugars, amino acids. Okay, were uh, were formed on the earth by this chemical interaction between molecules, between compounds, water and gases. Okay, and then the synthesis of first proteins was probably because they conducted this experiment and they found proteins in this liquid. So probably they said that probably the first amino acids, the first enzymes were, initial enzymes were non-enzymatic. That is, they just came out of non-living organic molecules, and then it led to formation of life on Earth. Okay, so this was Urey and Miller. Fine. So now we are done with all the initial theories. Now we move to a small part, that is RNA world hypothesis, which is again linked to the theories that which we have done up till now. Excuse me. Okay. So now this is another hypothesis which were put forth by some of the scientists. Basically, and now up till now we have understood that the parent and Haldane theory and also Murray and Miller theory, they give us an understanding somewhat, that life on Earth came from non-living to living. Okay, they all this theory from non-living organisms, non-living things to living things. This is how the theory, chemical theory of evolution, explains. Okay, now this RNA world hypothesis says that early life must have been exclusively on nucleic acids. Especially, they believe that RNA. Okay, it was proposed by first Carl Lewis, Francis Crick, Leslie Orville in 1960. Fine. Okay, because we are also we know that certain proteins which are enzymes, they are which catalyze the chemical reactions in our cell, all these things. So these scientists independently found that the catalyst that drives chemical reaction are more are independently found out that they are RNAs that can also act as biocatalyst. Okay, so these RNAs were called as ribozymes. These RNAs were called as what? Ribozymes. Okay, ribozymes. Enzymes made out of RNA. Okay, so uh, for then further discovery took place, and then this RNA world hypothesis was put forth by these group of scientists. What is their belief? The hypothesis says that early life on Earth must be or must have been based exclusively on a nucleic acid. And which type of nucleic acid? We know that two types of nucleic acid are there: DNA and RNA. So exclusively, mostly because they were considering RNA. Okay. So we also know that, so this was proposed by them, but now we know that RNA is found abundantly in non-living cell in all living organisms. Yes or no? Yes, we now know that RNA is found in all living cells. Now we have just finished our chapter with molecular basis of inheritance, where we see RNA is required in all the activity wherein DNA also participates, like replication, DNA replication, transcription and translation, protein synthesis. You have different types of RNAs. Okay, so it is structurally related to DNA. We know that. And the difference is your ribonucleic acid and your deoxyribonucleic acid, and then you have types over here. Even in DNA you have types, but more or less they have same nucleotides. Yeah. Then chains of RNA can evolve and undergo mutation, just like our DNA is made up of chains of nucleic acid. RNA is also made up of nucleic acid. Okay. And just like DNA undergoes mutation, we have discussed the concept of mutation. So even RNA can also undergo mutation. Also, I have just written over here, ribozymes. Certain RNA participates with enzyme and catalyze reaction. So all these today we know all this, okay, by research, various experiments, various proof. Today we are aware of all these facts and information. So more or less, all of this, is supporting what Carl Francis and Leslie put forth, suggested in 1960. Yes or no? Okay. So basically, this is in support. The today world fact is in support of the RNA world hypothesis, right? So basically, uh, you can agree mostly that probably all the life on Earth started with, early life must have started with the nucleic acids, mostly with the RNA. Okay. And then these molecules, and you can give a conclusion that, in due course, a double-stranded structure, which is DNA, might have been formed and thus continued the ongoing journey, which resulted in rich biodiversity on Earth. Basically, you can assume that the molecules, okay, that is these ribozymes, the RNA, wherever they are found, they underwent repetitive replication, and then mutation took place. Different varieties of RNA, varying sizes and various function, were prevalent at that time. And then slowly and gradually, just like humans evolved, RNA evolved as DNA, and DNA was, was then finally taken as a genetic material by nature, and you know now DNA is a genetic material, but DNA and RNA are both required in cell to carry out various metabolic activities. Yes. So this is just an recap, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, telling you about the RNA world hypothesis. That is, RNA forms from inorganic substances, sources. Then they can participate with enzymes to form ribozymes. They can catalyze synthesis of proteins. Yes. Then slowly and gradually they started, replicating, membrane formation took place. Then some chemical reactions which gave new functions and structure to RNA, and then um, DNA evolved, and then finally DNA becomes the actual hero. That is, in today's today DNA is a genetic material, but earlier it might have been RNA. This is what they're trying to explain. Okay, when RNA also catalyzes cellular activities like protein synthesis, etc. This is all what is uh, these group of scientists called as, they gave their hypothesis, that is RNA world hypothesis. So that's all for this. A short topic or short, a short note can be asked on this. Very, very important RNA world hypothesis and what we have just covered, Urey-Miller experiment. So that's all for this video. In the next video, we are going to cover the organic evolution, that is the Darwin's theory. Okay. So keep revising. Take care. See you in the next video. Bye bye.